What is up, everybody? Aaron back with another episode of Aaron Unwinds, and as we continue our Friday the 13th journey with part two, this time directed by Steve Miner, 1981's Friday the 13th part two. This is just kind of a general discussion about the movie and my overall thoughts about it. I have seen the first couple before, but it's been a while, and I had a good time with two. I think it is an improvement from one in a lot of ways. It's a different movie for sure. It takes place a couple of years after the first one. They've kind of confirmed that the end of the first movie didn't really happen. It was just in Alice's head. So there's that with Jason coming out of the water. But it kind of has created a legend, and it haunts Alice to this day. And off the bat, with the minor spoilers here, Alice is killed very early in the movie. And, I'm not sure still if that was the right call or not. One reason, I'm not sure. I just think there was more for her to do. But at the same point, I do really... I'll get to one of my favorite. There's one of the things I talk about my favorite character. My favorite character here is Ginny, played by Amy Steele. I think she's a very, very good character and a really good final girl. Just moving on with her aspect of the story, I think she's just kind of strong and intelligent throughout. When Jason gets going, he, is very different in this movie, but still ultimately a tormented kid who misses his mom. They're still kind of going with that, but even though this takes place a couple years later, he's a full-grown adult now. He's got the bag over his head, Town of Dreaded Sundown style, but he also did it. Basically, he's like a hillbilly killer in this movie. So that was a little different. I feel like they did a good job of kind of mixing the humor and the hangout aspect of the first one, and still keeping it kind of dark. I feel like this is like pretty dark Jason, pretty brutal. I like the dynamic of all six of the individuals, particularly like I said, Ginny, but I really did like Vicky and Mark as well. After Jeff and Sarah go to get it on and leave the game night, we're just left with Mark and Vicky, and they're kind of flirting back and forth, smoking a little pot and whatnot, unwinding, if you will. And with Mark being in the wheelchair, he's insecure about that and everything. I feel like they kind of did a good job for an 80s movie of going into that, so I appreciate that. Getting to my favorite kill of the movie, it's got to be the sex spear kill of Jeff and Sarah when the two of them are having sex, and it goes right through the two of them. And it's, for one, second straight movie where a bed and a spear / arrow are involved in penetration, are involved in my favorite kill. So maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But yeah, that was a really good kill. I really enjoyed seeing Crazy Ralph again for while we did see him. But I did feel his kill ultimately was the worst. But to end on a positive note for Crazy Ralph, he got my favorite quote of the movie. Basically just him being himself. I told the others, they didn't believe me. You're doomed. You're all doomed. It's the last time we get to hear him say it. So I'm giving him the award for my favorite quote. But overall, this movie has the tenets of the Friday the 13th movies to come. Definitely sets the pace and sets the tone for everything as well. I feel like with like the certain types of characters, there's still the comedic character, punchline character with the redhead at the bar, but he just kind of disappears. But that's okay. I didn't think he was that great. And overall, everybody does a really good job towards the end of the movie when after Jason has kind of gone on his rampage. I do really appreciate that Ginny uses her head or uses Pamela Voorhees' head to muse or mimic Mrs. Voorhees and manipulate Jason. I think that was really, really, smart on your feet thinking, and showed kind of the strength of her as a character. Still not crazy that they got rid of Alice the way they did, and overall, I do feel that this movie, is an improvement, as I said on the first one. I think that it has the right tone and everything. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and get to those ratings. So getting to the ratings, obviously this was left open-ended and we're heading into a third. This is where it starts to get much more murky for me. I don't really recall the third that much, but my rating for this one as a movie overall, I really had a good time with it. I feel like, this is essentially a hangout movie that's, disguising itself as as a slasher at the same point. I think that that's just kind of how a lot of these, movies did roll moving forward. And I don't, I think that's perfectly fine. I had a good time with it. 3.5 videotapes for me out of 5. And, I think this is a great one to unwind with. One thing I forgot to mention was Vicky's brown granny panties when she's getting in the mood. So she starts like spraying all over the place, including her nether regions. Forgot that part, but Vicky's brown underwear, I remember as a kid not digging, and I still don't dig the brown large panties. But anyways, unwinding review or unwinding rating. I think this is one that's pretty good to unwind. They unwind in the movie. That's always a bonus point. You know what? It's not a perfect one, but I think it's, one of the better ones in the series. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 pot leaves for the enhanced rating, as Jeremy Big Blazeness Potters gave us. But that is going to do it for the review. Before we take off, the Letterboxd challenge, Why We Love Horror Letterboxd challenge, right there. You can join us now. We're about halfway through the year at this point, so we're halfway through the list, but never too late to catch up. And also, we have a show on every Thursday now where we go through our picks for the week. So you can join us. You can leave a comment on the video. It's a good excuse to watch some good movies. And on the channel, Why We Love Horror, versus every Monday with Will and John. Why Liv Loves Horror every Tuesday, our number one show for good reason. It's our best show. Wednesdays, you're here. Aaron Unwinds. Appreciate the support and the love. And, we'll be going through the Friday the 13th franchise and adjacent Friday the 13th movies, like The Burning and others, and maybe some top 10 lists along the way also. Thursdays, as I said, Why We Love Horror, Letterboxd Challenge, watch along show. Really good time there with myself, Abby, and John. Fridays, Why We Love Horror trivia throughout the week. The reviews coming as we drop them. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the love. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.